morning, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to another exciting episode of Queening with the Empress with me, your host, Patience Phiri. My guest today, I've already been laughing before we started. She is popularly known as the Queen Monkey. And please know that this name is Sokostina. Many will say Sokostina. This name is trademarked by her.
Yes.
Say it like you know what you're talking about. She is Tendai Garwe, a TV and radio personality, a speaker, a brand influencer, an author, and in her books, a true overcomer, a very strong woman. And she does all this with a huge smile on her face, which is captivating, which you will see you end up laughing. Like, I just can't talk to her and not start laughing. She is just a ball of energy. She's just a vibe. But over the past few years, she's had to deal with a lot. Her life has been a roller coaster. And she has not been embarrassed to share the highs and the lows of her healing journey. And like I'm saying, I think she's a fighter. I think she's an inspiration to many people. And more than anything else, ule vibe. She's just got that thing. So welcome, Monkey.
Thank you, my queen. Thank you, fellow Queen Monkey. It's an honor to be in your kingdom. I count this utter, total, epic blessing to be in your presence.
You are looking all types of yes.
Yes! Because you have got to just be yes. People have to see you and feel something. Have to feel a Tupperware and buy lots of Tupperware while you're at it.
Have you always been this bubbly, even as a child?
Yes, I've always been this very bubbly. Most of my childhood pictures are I'm smiling, huge smile, I'm laughing. My dad used to tell me I was an entertainer. I think there's only one picture I have that I'm not smiling when I'm looking at my sister with a side eye. Like, I don't know what she was doing. I think she was trying to outshine me, I promise you. But I've always been bubbly, so bubbly that from grade 1 all the way to when I had a report card, it was always written, too much laughter and talkative, if that's the thing. So I've always been this person. I'm a monkey. What do you expect?
You're a monkey. That's what monkeys do. Listen.
Yeah, we do that.
And then breaking into TV and radio. Was that a dream of yours?
Yes and no. What can I say? I've always been a dreamer. Like I've had a lot of things that I wanted to do. But initially, when I was growing up, I wanted to be an Air Force pilot. Yes. I think I'd have been rocking stripes in that blue uniform with the beret on the side. I'd have been some delicious army female. You know what I mean? I'd have been with that attitude that I fly, my guy. My dad talked me out of it.
Wow.
He was like, oh. And he lied to me. I think he lied to me. He said, you're too short. They want a certain height. And then I left that. But I always used to act. I always used to act in school dramas. And I was a comedian. I knew people were always laughing around me. And then the voice came when I was like I think form 4. I realized a lot of guys wanted to talk to me on the phone. I was like, what's this? Like, and my mom would be like, when are we also going to use the phone? Rest her soul. I'm like, I don't know, mom. But I accidentally got into it. It wasn't something I had planned, like eventually. But Hollywood was always a great idea for me. I thought it would be good, but because that's what I grew up watching. But yeah, it came. I think when something is when you're called to something, even if you detour and go whichever way you decide to go, you gravitate towards the thing that you're called to do. So I would say the coincidence happened because it was along what it is that I was called to do and how to impact people.
I guess it's that Paulo Coelho thing that the universe conspires to bring you to where you're supposed to be.
Exactly. I completely concur with that.
I just wanted to sound like I'm very, well read, and I thought let me
Philosophical.
throw it in there, just like the one thing. As a woman in media, so what are some of the
Yeah.
like? Let me start. As a woman in media, when we talk about women in media, there's so much. As a woman in media, a lot of stuff is said, a lot of
Yep.
stuff is thought, a lot of stuff is
Yep.
thrown. If we don't look hot enough, we don't look this enough, you don't look like so and so, you are not that, you are not this, you're just on everything. Do you sometimes feel like you're swimming against the tide?
Of course, of course. Patience, I want to share with you because you know me. I'm an open book. I want to share with you when I first went to ZFM, which is the first place I was on radio. One of the female personalities insisted that people shouldn't take a full picture of me because I had a drum body. I had the face, but I didn't have the drum body. I was like, what the hell? We're on radio. Who cares what I look like? People just want to hear what I sound like. So there is an image that people, expect or standards that people set. And then I have a sexy voice, guys. I know this. No one has to tell me this. I have a sexy voice on air. And so people build their own fantasy over a voice. They build their perfect woman. And when they saw me, they were like, but you are fat. I'm like, yes, I'm built for comfort. What are you talking about? So I have had things like that. People have expectations and they have things that they have like things that they expect of you in media. To say you have a certain look or you have a certain, I don't know, like there's a lot of expectations that they have in terms of that. And it's also cruel because sometimes it's the females that perpetuate that particular look or attitude, whatever it is that people have towards what personalities should look like. And then you're judged more harshly. Oh, you should lose weight. I used to have this whole thing of um, chasing Dora, chasing her summer body, one of my best friends. But no matter how hard I tried, I was just built thick for comfort. So I was like, you know what? You know what? Let's just pretend I'm on a shelf. You pick the product that you want. If I am not for you, walk away.
Mm. But you were
Yeah.
healthy because you were doing boot camp and you were doing everything. And you're like, but I'm
Yeah.
healthy. Not that anyone cares because they want this
I don't know.
perfect. And I don't know what perfect is because you're like,
Well,
this is.
we're perfect. We are perfect. And you know what I've learned is we are who we are to inspire a specific specific person. We will irritate others, but will definitely inspire others. We will shine a light on others. We will annoy other people, demons. So I think I am called to be plus size and absolutely rocking it and inspire people that it's not body type that determines who you are or become. You just are. It's your attitude, it's your personality, it's your outlook to life. That is what makes you who you are as a person, not this outer thing. It's just, I can change this. I can change how this looks. But there's certain things that I cannot change, especially thinking attitude is
I
harder to
remember
change.
I remember sitting next to you at the Women, Wine and Words, and we were talking about body positivity. And you said
Yes,
something I think that has stayed with me. You said
yeah,
people will say you're fat and people will say you're ugly and people will whatever, whatever. But that's their opinion.
yeah. It is
You
their
are
opinion.
who you are deep inside. And
Yep.
don't
And
allow
even
people to then tell you who you are. And that has
I,
stuck with me that people can say whatever they want. Listen, it's their opinion. If it makes them feel better, perfect.
yeah,
But know
not
who.
like I'm highlighting their flaws because I might be fat, but they could have an absolutely horrid nose. They could have ears that fleck down a car. They could have eyes that could light up a city. I don't highlight that. But just because I am what, it's not even who defined what beauty is because I am beauty. I am beauty. when you look at me, I am beautiful. So I'm not supposed to be defined by your standards of beauty because my standards of beauty say I am because I am.
Mm, okay.
Hmm.
What reforms would you love to see in the media industry pertaining to women?
I really want to see more women lead. People trusting women that they can do it. Headlines to stop being very misogynistic. Um, I would love for that to happen for us. I would also want to see women change the narrative on our own, that we set the pace of how things are said and not perpetuate the actual um, downgrading and looking down upon women. So, to that, to just celebrate each other and not to doubt that, patience, see, she only got there because. And I always say that if someone gets to the top by slipping their way to the top, they're making useful use of their potential. What are you doing with yours? I mean, you know what I mean? It's just things like that. Hey, they couldn't make it to the top because they slept their way to the top. I don't think it's fair when people actually work hard for their own thing. So I want that for people to know that women can and are doing it and can lead organizations and lead teams to be the best in the country. I'm so blessed to have my team leader for television to be a female. So, and I celebrate that and I protect that too.
What has been your experience for 2020?
Oh my God. See, for me, 2020 has been my second leg of healing. And, I always tell people that I got rid of FOMO in 2019 because I was in hospital the whole year. So 2020 was God slowing it down so that I catch up because I was left
I hope
behind.
you did.
Yeah, I did. I did catch up because you were all way ahead of me. And God is like, let me slow down the whole world for one girl. So, so I'm so excited. A lot happened to me this year. I would say for me, it was a very good year. It was
Mm.
an absolutely good year. I didn't lose myself. Like I say to one of my girls, I changed dimension. I'm no longer the same person who is moved or angry. You could actually see that. Like something about me is radiant. I used to be very angry about a lot of things that were not necessary for me to be angry about. But now I live my truth, and I've realized that if I am truthful to myself, other people will get used to it and say, all right, this is how Tendai or Sokostina does things, so let's, work according to that. Because I had over compromised on a lot of things. I was setting myself alight to keep other people warm. So this year I was just like, you know what? Let's all just be in the fight. Someone's throwing a limb, let's all throw a limb. I'm not gonna put my whole body for you. Eh? I am putting what you're putting in also. So 2020 was a great year for me. And of course, this is the year I released a book. Ooh, certified author. Hmm.
You speak about how this was your year of catching up with everything because 2 years ago you suffered a horrific, absolutely horrific accident.
Yes.
You sustained injuries on your arm, on your leg. How far are you in your healing journey now?
I am closer to full restoration. So I broke both my legs, shattered one, and of course my arm, and a part of me broke. My spirit broke in there. But I have been Humpty Dumpty like you have never seen it before, been put together in as much as the scars are evident, but I feel completely different. And I feel the healing has not only helped my physical body, but even my spiritual, my attitude, and my thought process has also been healed. I'm still walking with crutches. I'm left with the left leg. It just needs a little more patience, like your name. but it's almost there. My doctor said next year in January I should be either on one crutch or no crutch at all. But I will always have steels in my body, um, both legs and my arm. So the journey has been, oh my God, it has been so trying. Um, I have had to compromise on a lot of relationships and things that I have done in the past. But the journey has made me not be ashamed of who I am and who I'm becoming through what has happened to me with the actor. So my healing journey has connected me to so many people. I've also lost some people along the way. It has exposed a lot of family drama, um, but I'm here and I'm only getting better in terms of everything.
What has been the hardest thing on this journey?
uh, Depending on other people to do things
Mm.
because I'm such an independent girl. Um, I have to ask people to do certain things for me. I can't drive. I can't, carry my own water, carry my own food. Even at a buffet, I have to wait for patients to think she thinks she knows what I want. Um, just that I have no control. Like it made me realize that it's okay to let other people help you, but it's also been the hardest for me because I'm such a DIY girl. Like and you can do not care. I like to do things quickly and snappy, and then you have to wait for someone who's moving at the speed. You're looking at them like, can we just do this? So it's been hard for me. It's been hard to depend on other people, but of course, there's lessons that come with depending on other people.
Mm.
But that has been hard, and also for people haven't. The journey sometimes gets psychologically hard. So because I'm such a bubbly person,
Mm.
people don't know what to do with me when I hit a dip because I do. Like I actually hit a dip. Then people are like, what do we do now? And then people stay away from me. Like, no, she's
Mm.
gonna fix herself. That's been really hard as well. So you want somebody to talk to or, you know, but well, I do have now someone I bother because the universe sent me big during this situation. Now I just tell him everything. I'm like, hey, God, I did. Of which I never used to do that. I never used to complain about everything. I used to like toughen up, girl, keep going. Now I just am solid distress all the time. Yeah, that's been
But what have you learned about yourself? Utendai Garwe Mwaka, away from the Sokostina, away from the Queen Mike. What have you
of
learned?
course because you know my personality. That's why you're stripping off these other humans. I've learned that Tendai is genuine
Yeah.
and very loyal.
Mm.
Um, and Tendai loves dearly.
Mm.
Tendai is also a giver, not just of heart, but even of material things. Tendai gives a lot. So I am that person. That's what I learned about myself. That I'm actually an amazing person. Like if you take time to know me personally, I'm a great friend to have and I'm a great ally to have, which I used to doubt. And I also learned that Tendai is absolutely beautiful. Like, oh wow, because I never used to trust Tendai smiling and I didn't trust her, you know. But I now know that I am absolutely gorgeous. Like,
Mm.
I'm a snack. Uh,
You're more than a snack, baby. You're dinner dessert too.
ah, full spread.
So on your toughest days, I know you would share on your lives when you're going through stuff on your tough days because you said you didn't
Yeah.
want to just think it was a walk in the park. And I know you
Hmm.
complained about the boiled food and how you were staying in old people's home where you
Of
were
people's
young
home.
and no one had time for you. And also that your independence had just like you were going home one day, you had an accident, and everything that you thought you knew just gone and changed. You couldn't walk, you couldn't nothing. What would make you get up each morning? As tough as it was, as difficult, what made you get up each morning? What was your inspiration? And how did you keep your mental health within some, listen, no one has their mental health intact. We somehow have it within some
parameters of sanity. Yeah.
Some picket fence, something. But it's just like
my son is the reason I woke up every day. I couldn't imagine him being 15 without a mom, because at 37, 36 when I crashed, I really wanted my mom. I wished she was alive. She died the year I crashed. And I wish she was there to help me bath. I wish she was there to help me shave. I wish she was there. And so I didn't want Tawanda to not have mom. And he's basically and I also realized I hadn't done much. I was just going to be a memory that would fade away, and I had nothing that people could actually hold on to say, Tendai did this. Well, in my books. I mean, in other people's worlds, I had totally impacted their lives and changed it for the better. So every day I would wake up and be present. That's how I kept saying. I lived 1 minute at a time, and I didn't even think with what is other people doing or what is even the neighbor doing. And I had such a nurse who took her time to do things. So it was at her pace. So while I was waiting for her to decide to do something for me, I would be grateful. So gratitude was my main value. I was very valuable. I mean, it was very valuable for me to be grateful and to stay focused on what was actually happening to me, what was there for me, what was making sense for me, and that it's enough. Whatever that I had at that particular moment was enough for me to make it the next minute and the next minute and the next minute. Basically, that's what I did.
Having lost my mom many years ago, people say it gets better with time and blah, 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 blah. And I always think, I don't think it gets better with time. I think you
learn to
find ways of coping. Because there are days, like you're saying, that I feel like I really wish my mother was here, because she'll be the only person who at this moment would get this, even if it's good news, if it's bad news. And there are things where I'm like, I really wish my mother was here. What pearls of wisdom do you have for people that are dealing with loss, with grief, with feelings of not having anything to wake up for? Because I think there's so much that's been going on, and we are just feeling like there's nothing else left for us.
Patience, what's important for everybody to know is death is happening around you every second. The second you just lost, it just died. The day you left yesterday, it died. So if you learn to embrace death, that it is inevitable, regardless of what is going to happen, something will die. Time dies, hair dies, something dies. Let's start there. And to not be hard on yourself. Stop comparing yourself with the person who's right next to you. What you need to value is, if you're having a hard time waking up, applaud yourself that the eyes actually opened. That's your personal best for that day. The next day that you actually set up, you beat your last personal best. Then the next day you actually stood up. Celebrate that. Don't try and compare yourself with the next person who is doing the most, because you don't know in the most that they're doing what it is that they have lost. So concentrate on yourself. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Make sure that you observe what you're doing. You're conscious and grateful for what you're doing. And don't be hard on yourself. Be so kind to yourself. Say, well done, Patience. Today you actually combed your hair. well done. And the next day you combed your hair and removed the hair off the comb. Oh, you did your personal best. So celebrate little victories. Every little victory that you experience, celebrate it, and make sure the next day you try and beat yesterday's personal best. That way, you find that you stop thinking that other people have it better or my life is actually gone or rotten. No, you guys, you can walk patient.
Mm,
Count it all joy that you don't have to ask somebody to help you off a toilet seat when
mm,
you go to people without disability friendly facility. Those are the things that you need to celebrate. Celebrate that you can see, celebrate you've got clothes, celebrate your sane, celebrate you've got friends and family. Have a gratitude book. I have a book that I call my book of remembrance.
mm,
If anything happens to me that is absolutely amazing, I write it down. If it's something I feel compelled to be grateful about, I write it down. Then the days that I take a dip, I take that book of remembrance and I remind myself of how lucky I am and how blessed I am, and that if I've been in this portal before, in this vortex before, I can return to the same vortex.
mm.
Mm.
Pearls of wisdom. I'm just absorbing them like this, like this. Okay. Congratulations on your book, Mama. A Letter to My Son, 40 plus 1 lessons for life. Oh, I need to get my copy. 40 plus 1
You
lessons
were
for
supposed to get it when you got here. We just lost each other.
Why was it important for you to write this book to your son?
It was not a book, it was a private letter that went public. So
Oh,
I was writing my, yes, I was writing my son a letter when, because this is the only hand that was functioning. So I
mhm.
was literally handwriting him a letter in these little A5 books. And what I was writing him was, in case I had died, there's some wisdom I have not yet passed on to my son, and that nobody else would have told it like the way I would have told him. So I was telling him all these things. I was just pouring out my heart. Make sure you do this. You should know where you came from. You should know about love and relationships, about sex. You should know, like, I had a whole list of things I was telling him. And then a friend of mine, Rodwell had an Angoni, came to see me all the way from Bulawayo and just said, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, I was writing my son a letter. It's like, let's see. I'm like, it's a private letter. It's like, let's see. So I give him this book and he just puts it in the inside of his jacket. I says, I'll give it back to you when it's a book, because he's an editor. And then the next time he's sending me this book that I had written 40 lessons to my son. Like, and I was in shock. And I read this 40 lessons. I was like, oh my God, I'm so wise. And they were my words, because when you read the book, you can actually hear me. You
Yeah.
can hear how I sound. And but of course, while he sent me for edit, I then realized I'd forgotten one more lesson, which is gratitude. But if you also read the book, you realize that there's repetition. You feel like Tendai is repeating. But remember, I was writing to a 16-year-old
Mhm.
who's turning 17 in the next 2 days, by the way. I was writing to a 16-year-old who I needed him to know things by repetition. So when adults read it, they're like, oh, she repeated. But I was like, shy, it was for a 16-year-old brain, not your. So that's how I wrote this book. It was an accidental private letter that went public.
But how does he receive it?
He loves it. He, he just thinks I shouldn't have spoken to him about sex like that. And he loves it. But he also gave me an idea of a follow-up book. He says,
Mhm.
Mom, you taught me what I should do. You didn't tell me how I should do it. So I need to write on how, because one of the lessons, of course, is stay in your lane.
Mhm.
Uh, so he's like, how do I stay in my lane? You told me I should stay in my lane, but how do I do that? How do I mind my own business? So although there's little things that tell him, but he says, Mom, I'd love for you to elaborate some of the lessons that you have taught me. So yeah, I think there's a second edition loading.
We look forward to you writing the second book with him. It would be nice to write it with him.
He's a historian, so I'm sure he'd love to write with me or respond. Maybe he should actually respond to my letter.
Yes.
That's patient.
You know, I'll be ready to cash
Mhm.
in as and when you're ready. And then you trademarked, you went and trademarked Sokostina.
You see, my life, my coach, I have a life coach. Her name is Sokostina Sambasi. She
Mm-hmm.
always says, when you're a great person, you're a storyteller. Now, Sokostina is a story. How, firstly, my cousins used to call themselves Moyostina. And I was like, guys, that doesn't make sense. So they used to say, Susana Moyostina. I was like, heck no, it sounds like Sokostina. And I left immediately and went and made a t-shirt with Sokostina with a monkey. That was like in 2011, 12. And then I got onto radio, and Sokostina went very viral. Like all the monkeys decided they were sexy and cool and hot
Yeah.
because the queen monkey had taken authority of that totem, which used to be a shamed totem. Like I wow, so cool. But
Mm-mm.
I was like, I'm bringing swag to this totem. And then one of my friends and young sister, who's also a monkey, Brenda Matanga, calls me and says, "Hi, my guru, let's trademark your name." I was like, "Eh, what is that?" He says, it's such a catchy, profitable name. People should make money up. If you don't trademark it, someone will trademark it and make money out of it. So she asked me to do that, and I couldn't even afford it, by the way. She even said, I will pay for half of it. She
Wow.
believed in my brand so much. She says, I want to trademark your name with you. So I gave her some money, but she put up the other half. And before I knew it, I was trademarked for Africa right under Dangote. If you open the book for trademark names, mine is under Dangote. But that's how it happened. So I trademarked it because when Brenda told me about it, about intellectual property, she says, you're so wise, you're so funny. Um, if you trademark your name, you protect anything that Sokostina does, and then nobody else can make money out of it. Now I see a lot of Sokostinas out there now. People call themselves Sokostina Ningi, Sokostina Ningi. I'm waiting for them to make millions. Then I sue them. I'll be like, you're using my money for profit. Can I have my money? Because they're all riding off the
Yeah.
initial work I put into the totem. Now, you see, let's so that we are clear. Sokostina means monkey with swag. It definitely comes from our totem, but our totem has no appeasement that says Sokostina. So no one can say, oh no, it's my totem. No, it's a made name that, of course, I thugged off the Moyos like the monkeys we are. Bapona Nejekuba. I thugged the Stina part, joined it to the Soko, and then I said it means monkey with swag. And that's how it came about. And that's why I trademarked it. So you renew the trademark after every 10 years. Now
Oh.
I'm 5 years into the trademark. I'll renew it again after 5 more years.
Mm, okay. So, what does the future look like in the land of the queen monkey?
Queen Monkey is completely healing texture. I see a lot of I want to speak more and to do a lot of television in front and behind the camera. And I also want to give back to young people, especially, you know, girls. But you see, I gave birth to a son. So, like a lot of people are like, you're a feminist who wrote a letter to your son. I'm like, the feminists need to teach their sons
Yeah.
the right thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of me is giving back now. Of course, I'm going towards making lots of money. Everybody's desires to make lots of money. But I also want to ensure that I leave a proper footprint, a proper footprint
Mm.
that has Sokostina's name for years to come.
Mm.
So yeah,
And are we walking down the aisle soon?
I don't know about walking down the aisle because I'm pursuing the journey on ATS. Sorry, I have to answer this because I'm in the office. Hi. Can they wait? I'll call them. Okay. So I'm pursuing 8 years. I don't know about walking down the aisle, but lobola, yes. Stay with somebody, yes. Have children, doubtful. But yeah, getting married, I'm sure. If I do it next year, it'll be a good idea.
Wow. Thank you so much. And all hail the queen of monkey.
Oh, hail Queen of Monkeys too.
You know, listening, I've known Sokostina for a while, and I've
Yeah.
shared spaces with her. And every time that we are in the same space, we come across as if we're badly behaved, but we
Mm-hmm.
actually are having fun because, like I did say, she's on fine. And listening to her talk
Yes.
and in her journey, her healing journey, I'm in awe. I think that's the word. I'm in awe at her
Oh, thank
calmness.
you, Jason.
She's so centered. She is so calm. Not many of us go through such life changes and come out refined and grateful and so mindful and wanting to pay back into the community. And yet she does it, like I said, she does it with a smile, and she's very open. I love that you're very open. You have not hidden anything
Thank you.
about the journey, that on some days it's good, on some days it's tough, on some days we're just combing our hair, we will remove the hair from the comb tomorrow. And I think that's one thing that we have forgotten as a people, because I guess social media makes us feel like we are all failing in life because we look at people when they're posting and they're doing amazing things. Yet we forget that in our daily lives, there's things to celebrate each and every day. And what might look small to everybody else,
Yeah.
if you stay in your lane, it is your victory and it is great. So you should not
Come
allow
on, wisdom.
anyone else to take your joy. You should not
Come
allow
on.
anyone else to take your joy because they think. Just stay in your lane, like she said. Stay in your lane, mind your business, drink your water, like they always say, drink your water, and just keep it moving. I think keep it moving.
Yeah.
So for whoever watched today's show and you're going through stuff, I hope our show today, my conversation with Sokostina, just brings some light and shows you
Yeah.
that while you think you're in the thick of it, there are many other people that are going through stuff and they are keeping it moving. So I hope you keep it moving too. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Queening with the Empress, when I was talking with the Queen Monkey, Sokostina Tendai Garwe. You can follow her. She's got her book. She's got everything. She's doing amazing things. Listen, she's owning
Thank you.
everything. She's coming for everything. She's leaving nothing. And I
Yeah.
would ask you that as we head towards the holidays, please, please be careful. We are recording too many new cases and we want you around. Please be careful. Mask up, socially distance, sanitize, stay at home if you don't gotta go out. Like, please take care of yourselves and those around you. Remember to subscribe to Site ZW across all social media platforms. Like, follow, everything. So if you want to know what's happening, Site ZW is where you go. From me and everybody else, bye.
Bye.